What is up, everybody? It is your boy Pigskin Pete. Happy Monday to everybody. Welcome back to the newest, latest, and greatest edition of Walk and Talk with Pete. If you're new here, if this is your first time, I do just that. I walk and I talk, and hopefully you listen. And hopefully you hit the thumbs up, the subscribe button, and all that good stuff. And hopefully you comment below in the comment section. I'd appreciate it. Last week's walk and talk videos, almost all of them turned into walk and rant videos. I don't think I'm gonna rant today. First of all, I'm tired. It takes a lot of energy to rant sometimes. But honestly, I don't really have anything to rant about. I mean, it would be very easy for me to come on here and rant about Clemson barely beating the fruit, except for I told you that was going to happen. So I can't act surprised that Clemson looked terrible again against the fruit and almost lost. I mean, we're more than halfway through the season. Clemson is who they are. This isn't going to change. I mean, they've dug their heels in with DJ. DJ's going to remain the quarterback for the remainder of the season unless he gets injured. Tony Elliott's going to remain the offensive coordinator for the remainder of the season, and probably even further than that. We'll get to that in a minute. That's another reason for this video, is talking about some of these coaching changes that are going to be taking place here in the next few months. But the reality is, this Clemson football team in 2021, probably 9-3 team, maybe 10-2. Maybe at the best, the second best team in the ACC, maybe the third best team in the ACC. I don't know. We still have to play both Wake Forest and this week Pitt, which I believe Clemson will lose to Pitt this week. The injuries are piling up on defense. I mean, it's just one of those years. That's just all there is to it. So anybody with any common sense at all has accepted that. And we'll see what changes and moves are made in the offseason. But there's really no reason for me to come on here on YouTube every single week for the rest of the year and get mad about what I already know is to be true. And I already know what's happening. So it's just pointless. Plus, my doctor advised me against it. But anyway, what I did want to talk about today, I said I didn't want to talk about Clemson, and then I just spent the last 5 minutes talking about Clemson. So it's the time of year where we start to see a lot of coaching vacancies. This is the time of the year where a lot of coaches start getting fired. Happens every year. There's always at least one, sometimes two or three very high profile jobs, major college football head coaching jobs that open up. Of course, we've all heard the news in the last 24 hours or so. Ed Orgeron got fired on his day off somehow. But I think he already knew this was coming, so it's not really that big of a deal. He's going to continue to coach throughout the remainder of the season. It's been a pretty crazy ride for old Orgeron at LSU. I mean, he really hit the lottery. And I'm not saying he didn't earn it, but he was really in the right place at the right time. Of course, he was the defensive coordinator whenever Les Miles got fired at LSU. He became the interim head coach about halfway through the season. They improved. They started winning. He won over the hearts and minds of the players. He won over the hearts and minds of the administration. And maybe more importantly, he won over the hearts and minds of the sports media, in particular, the college sports media. It seemed like a match made in heaven. You got this Cajun guy that grew up not too far from LSU, grew up loving the LSU Tigers. It goes around college football as an assistant, as a very good assistant. Has a couple of head coaching gigs. Well, one main one at Ole Miss from 2005 to 2007, I think. That didn't go well. He ends up going to landing at Southern Cal as an assistant. That coach gets fired. He becomes the interim head coach there. He doesn't get that job, makes his way back to LSU. The rest is history. But, I mean, the guy went from being a failed head coach twice, bouncing around as a coordinator, to being the second highest paid coach in all of college football behind Nick Saban because of one magic season where he had a dream team, literally, of players and coaching staff. Now, when you look at the possible candidates to take over this job, I mean, because LSU is one of the best jobs in college football, okay? I mean, from a money standpoint, absolutely. From an alumni-based standpoint, absolutely. Just from a logo and image standpoint, absolutely. It's one of the dream jobs in college football. I believe it's definitely in the top 10. Some would even say, maybe argue, in the top 5 best coaching jobs in all of college football. So you're going to get a lot of big names out there. All the same big names you hear that are ridiculous year after year after year that will never happen. But I want to focus today on some of the realistic ones and who I would go after if I were LSU. Well, we were just talking about Clemson. Tony Elliott's name comes up a lot in these coaching searches, and there was even a rumor. And of course, you know how rumors are. You don't know if you can believe them or not. But there was a rumor that after Jeremy Pruitt was fired, that Tony Elliott was number 1 on the list for that job, and that Tony Elliott turned it down. Now, Tennessee might be happy with the hire they got anyway. Josh Heupel, they look like they're a much better team than they were. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Point is, Tony Elliott's name will come up for the head coaching job at LSU. I would like to, on behalf of all Clemson fans, say how great of a coach that Tony Elliott is. And I think he would be a great fit down in Baton Rouge as the head coach down there. So, but Tony Elliott's not going to get the job at LSU. I think that Brent Venables' name will also be brought up. There's been rumors that Venables is really just waiting for that big job to open up, right? He's not going to make, like the defensive coordinator job at Clemson is better than dozens of other head coaching jobs at other schools. So the point is, I don't think you'll see Tony Elliott, but Brent Venables, that's one to keep an eye on. The question to LSU fans is, would you want Brent Venables? A couple of other names that are always brought up anytime a major head coaching job comes open, James Franklin and Mario Cristobal. I honestly believe James Franklin is staying at Penn State. And I also believe that Mario Cristobal is staying at Oregon. I guess out of those two, it would be more likely to see Mario Cristobal leave Oregon probably and come to the SEC than it would be for James Franklin to do so. Well, one reason is I just think Penn State's a better team. It's hard to leave a good team that you built. And Mario Cristobal, for whatever reason, have the highest of high expectations every year in Oregon. They're recruiting out of their mind. I mean, they're blowing the rest of the Pac-12 out of the water in recruiting, especially in the past few years since Cristobal's been there. And they still can't get out of their own way. So maybe a change would be, going somewhere new would be okay with him. I know Miami fans want Cristobal, but LSU is a better job than Miami. Now, if I were LSU, I would have been on the phone with the administration at Baylor yesterday. Why? Who's the head coach of the Baylor Bears? None other than Dave Aranda. Dave Aranda was a big reason for the national championship run that happened for LSU in 2019. Yes, they had an amazing offense, one of the best offenses we've ever seen in the history of the world. I get that. But their defense was pretty damn good too. And Dave Aranda was a huge part of that. And their defense has all but fallen apart since he left to go take the Baylor coaching job last year. So Aranda, a big part of the 2019 team. Aranda, a great coach, having a lot of success at Baylor. Baylor's a very good team under him. Aranda, obviously, good recruiter, obviously knows how to recruit Louisiana, obviously knows how to recruit Texas, in the rest of the Southeast, most likely, if you just look at LSU's defensive roster when he was there, and if you look at his roster at Baylor. So to me, this is a match made in heaven. He already knows the area. He's already familiar with the administration. They're already familiar with him. He's proven that he's very good at the head coaching level. To me, he checks all of the boxes that you would need to check. He's also not a very controversial person as far as I know, which LSU at this point needs to stay as far away from controversy as humanly possible. I think Aranda should be at the top of their list, no doubt about it. You don't always have to go get the biggest, flashiest name out there. You just need to get the right guy for the job. Another name you'll probably see thrown around for every major college football coaching job that opens up, you already saw it happen with Southern Cal opened up, is Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. I don't think Luke Fickell's going anywhere. I mean, I think the Alabama job could open up tomorrow. They could offer him $80 million a year. You know, obviously I'm exaggerating. And he would turn it down. I think he likes where he's at. I think the fact that Cincinnati is a top 5 team year in and year out for the past couple of years, basically. They're only getting better. They're moving to the Big 12. They will immediately, overnight become, I don't know, second or third best team in the Big 12, depending on who you ask, maybe the second best. They'll be competing right away for Big 12 titles and playoff spots. And with that comes the cheddar cheese that Luke Fickell will get that he deserves, you know. But I don't see him leaving. He's all but said, you know, and you know, you can only take what these coaches say with a grain of salt when they say they're not going anywhere. That, you know, that 2 hours later they're on a bus or a plane moving across the country to go take a better job. So you never really know. But I take him at his word. I don't think he's got any plans on leaving Cincinnati anytime soon. All right, next topic of discussion for this beautiful walk and talk video. Man, it's beautiful out here. It's like 60 degrees. It feels great. There's not a cloud in the sky. There's no humidity. It is absolutely beautiful fall weather out here this morning. Everybody go out there and walk. Yes, go out and take a walk, even if it's for only 30 minutes during your lunch break or something. Go take a walk and make you feel better, believe me. What was I going to get at? Oh, Dan Mullen. Jesus Christ. So Ed Orgeron was on the hot seat coming into the week. 3 weeks ago, Dan Mullen was the greatest coach in the history of planet Earth because he almost beat Alabama. And now Dan Mullen continues to disappoint. He got beat on this Saturday by a lame duck coach who was getting fired a day later. That is a new level of failure that I did not see coming for old Mullen. Just when you thought things couldn't get more embarrassing for Dan Mullen, he invents new ways to embarrass himself. So the wheels appear to be falling off quickly in Gainesville. The fan base is starting to turn on old Dan Mullen, and I don't really blame him. So the question I have for all of you guys out there in YouTube land, and of course down in the chat, is what is Dan Mullen's fate? Does he get fired before the season's up? Does he get fired at the end of the season? Does he quit before the season is up? Does he quit at the end of the season? Or will he be the coach at Florida in 2022? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how both Dan Mullen and the Florida athletic department plays this hand, because there's only so many elite coaches to go around. You don't want to make a lateral move with Dan Mullen and go out and get another coach. Can't win the SEC. I think Florida's goal is to win the SEC, as it should be, and to become a playoff team. Not going to happen with Dan Mullen. Don't want to make another mistake after him. And again, there's only so many great coaches to go around, and you've got two other schools out there, Southern Cal and LSU, competing for that small pool of coaches. All right, guys, thanks for walking with me this morning. It's been a lot of fun. I will see you all tonight at 10 p.m. over on Uncle Lou's main channel for the Lunch Money Show, where we will talk to you about how much money we won and or lost this past weekend, and we'll be sure to tell you how to lose even more money this coming weekend. All right, guys, see you later. Your boy Pigskin Pete is checking out.